Hi, this is Chris Carlson, and today I want to talk about what has gone on over the last several weeks, starting with the FDIC shutting down Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank, and then most recently, what has happened to First Republic. Look, I don't pretend to be the person who knows everything, but my guess is this is not the last piece of news that the public will receive regarding the banking industry in 2023. So as a result, we have to be prepared to respond to prospects and customers regarding what they're reading and hearing. So I want to go back, to what was happening right before these banks were shut down. Their bankers and their executives were out there saying everything was okay. And then a day later, the FDIC swooped in and shut them down. So why is this so important? So always remember the following statement: a compelling offer beats a convincing argument every time. And what happened after these banks were shut down? Customers were out there wondering what they should do next. And so a lot of banks, in fact, most banks and most bankers, took information from what was put together by the people in the marketing departments and the executive level and the banks, and went out there and were saying, hey, here are our talking points. Well, they were trying to convince their customers that everything was okay. And as I said earlier, the bad part is that that's what was happening right before those three banks were shut down. So the public is a little bit jaundiced when it comes to that. So here is what I would recommend going forward the next time you hear some bad news and your customers are wondering what they should do next. Have a comment, something like this, and we'll call it our customer Dave. Hey, Dave, obviously, I'm really excited that we're able to talk today regarding the things that you've been reading and hearing. And I've been talking to all of my customers regarding this, how it affects them, and been talking to a lot of people who are interested in doing business with us. In these conversations, I'm seeing that people fall into one of three buckets. The first bucket is they think the sky is falling financially. If they could, they'd take out all their money of all their banks and put it underneath their mattress. The second bucket people fall into is they are convinced that they shouldn't have any account that has more than $250,000 in it because that's the limit that the bank is, the account that is protected in their bank. Even if they were to spread all the money out and have no more than $250,000, they think that's the right decision, even if it's ineffective and inefficient. Then the third bucket that people fall into are those people who are convinced that they are with the right bank, but they want to have a robust conversation about what they should do given their current situation. So Dave, my question to you is this: which bucket do you fall into? Now, out of that little role play, the point here is instead of trying to convince them of your bank's strengths, which is important, and we know that, first find out what's going on in their head. Once you understand which bucket that they fall into, and obviously most of them are going to fall into bucket 2 and 3. One is just kind of get them, kind of thinking and chuckling a little bit. But once you find out if they're in bucket 2 or 3, the conversation that you have is now predicated upon their response. And as the conversation goes on, at the appropriate time, you can pull out your bank's talking points, because at that point in time, you're going to be offering a compelling offer as opposed to a convincing argument. Okay, that's the idea for today. Hopefully you can use that or something like that in future conversations with your customers.